Thanks, Matt. Hey, Coach Wilson, can you hear me?
Yes, how you doing?
Not bad, thanks. Welcome to South Carolina. And the first question is, from being a native of Cross, you still got a lot of family in the area, or are they all still around, or for you to meet up with while you're back here?
Yeah, absolutely. Cross is an hour and a half away. Both my parents and my wife's parents, my parents being from Cross, my wife's parents being from Alvin, South Carolina. So we're pretty much an hour and a half, 45 minutes away. And then I have some family here also in Columbia.
All right, next question. Looks like we're going to Ben Briner. Go ahead, Ben.
Unmute yourself, Ben.
Oh, there it is. Thank you. Hey, Coach. Welcome back to Columbia. I wanted to ask how has your transition been thus far, and what were you kind of able to get out of the abbreviated spring in terms of working with your guys, meeting your guys, all that sort of stuff?
I tell you what, I got here and I had about 3 weeks in the office, and then we had spring. And over spring break, I went back to Kansas City to pack up my home and move back. And as soon as we got back to the office, the whole pandemic happened and we got locked out saying, hey, you have to go home. So I had about 3 weeks and 5 practices in the office, but it was a good experience. I've been home working, getting caught up on film, recruiting, getting to know the guys via FaceTime or over the phone or through Zoom meetings. So it's going smoothly as possible.
Looks like we go back to Dave. You got another question?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Coach Wilson, I was going to ask you, you just kind of answered it, but what's the whirlwind been like? You know, winning the Super Bowl in January, then getting the job and having to move here and do all this while this pandemic's going on.
2020 has been such an emotional roller coaster. Just like you stated, from winning the Super Bowl, then I lost a very close friend of mine who was very well known in the Columbia area. His name is Jason Anderson, also known as Crow, right after the Super Bowl. And then going from that to being offered a job here in South Carolina. So I went from here, back to here. And then the pandemic happened and here. And then it's just all over the place. But, you know, I'm a blessed individual. I'm happy to be home. And I can't wait to work.
All right, let's go over to Hale McGranahan now. Go ahead, Hale.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to see what your impressions were of the guys that you got to work with on the field for those few days of spring practice. What would you take away from seeing those guys in person, up close, in action, all that?
It's been good. From what I've observed the first 3 weeks and some practices, it's been really, really good. The guys are putting a lot of effort into what we're asking them to do, paying attention to detail, working hard. And it sucks that, you know, it kind of came to an end so abruptly with the pandemic, but they were working really hard and the personalities are great. Coming from the special team side of things in the NFL, I dealt with a ton of different personalities. You know, you got a DB, you got a wide receiver, then you got a linebacker. Those personalities are different. You got an O-lineman's personality is different. Now I'm coming back into, you know, just a room full of linebackers and being able to relate to them a little differently, being that I played that position and just getting to know those guys. And it's a room full of personalities, and I love it.
You got a couple of veteran guys in particular with Ernest and Sherrod, and I guess a few other guys who have been around for a while. But with those guys, how have you seen them kind of come along in your short time with them in person, and I guess as you've done some of these Zoom meetings with them?
It's been good. And I can speak about Ernest right now. Ernest is an intelligent individual. He's sharp, he's smart, he's all ball. He wants to be good, he wants to be great. And I appreciate that in him. Sherrod is the same. You know, Sherrod's been working hard. I can't wait to see, you know, him continue to develop over whenever we get back on the field. And through the weight rooms and workouts when we get back. The Damani and those other guys, they all been working really hard, continuing to get better. And I'm learning from them. You know, those guys know the defense better than I did when I first got there. And those guys been doing a good job of just kind of relaying what they know. And I'm feeding off of them and they're feeding off of me.
Let's go over now to Colin Taylor. Go ahead, Colin.
Unmute yourself, Colin.
Sorry about that. Sorry, I came in a little late on that. And I just want to know, how's Mokaba doing in his rehab, and what have you seen from him in the film you've been able to watch on him?
Mo's coming along. Mo, from what I know, Mo's getting better, and I'm excited. And I'm excited because of what I've seen on film on Mo. It sucks for him being a freshman that just got in, and then all of a sudden had to go home. You know, I had to go home and deal with online courses, no longer being in front of a teacher or professor and with his other peers in the classroom and having to go home and deal with online courses. So Mo accepted the challenge and he did the best job he could. And I'm proud of him. And from a player standpoint, I look forward to working with Mo.
Let's go back to Ben Briner now.
Coach, what has the experience been like for you getting back into recruiting during kind of this whole pandemic, and where do you guys feel like your class is sort of sitting at this point?
It's definitely been a change. I've been away from recruiting for 3 years, but that's one of the things I did enjoy about college football. The fact that I get the opportunity to talk to not just the kids, but their parents or their guardians or their mentors or their coaches, and kind of hearing what they want for themselves in the future, how they want to be developed, how they want to grow, what are their goals, what are their expectations academically and on the field. So that part has been going pretty good. I developed a lot of good relationships before I left to go to the NFL, and a lot of them I reopened when I got back, and then some of them I maintained when I was gone. And that standpoint, I meant my coaches. I maintained a lot of communication with those guys. Guys are just checking in on me when I was in the league. So the recruiting part has been going well. I was given some new areas, so that was good. It kind of gets the juices flowing a little bit because it's an opportunity to go out there and meet new people, talk ball with different people, get in different areas, and grow from there. But the pandemic thing, it hadn't been that bad. The only thing that that slowed me up a little bit was the ability not to go on the road. And I'm a people person. I was raised up in the country, and I'm used to going in front of you, shaking your hand, looking a man in the eye and say, how you doing? Because I believe that your body language and your gesture says a lot about who you are. And when you're communicating with coaches and players, that's a big asset.
Our next question is going to come from Mitch Brown. Go ahead, Mitch.
Hey, how you doing, Coach? Nice to meet you. Hope your transition to South Carolina has been pretty good. My question for you is, being in the NFL for this past season, you've been around the college game before, so this isn't new to you. But I was wondering if there was anything maybe that you learned from this past, couple of years in the league that maybe can help you translate back to the college level, or something that you learned from a specific coach that will help you in the college game now.
I tell you what, I may be biased, and I might not be, but I think and I know in my heart that I probably work for a Hall of Fame coach in Andy Reid. And the amount of experience of those 3 years I had with him, and that, the things I took from him are huge. That guy is how can I phrase this? He is all work. He loves ball. The way he go about his business is what I learned. I'm an early bird anyway. But Coach Reid was like the first one in the building before the sun is up. The last one out of the building, and the sun was still coming back up. That's the kind of hours he put in. And those things I learned from him. I was one of the first people in the building, one of the last to leave. All right. And he's a consistent guy. And that's the other thing I took from being under him for 3 years is his consistency. I mean, he's straight ahead. You know what you're getting out of Coach Reid. You know what to expect. The culture he developed there in Kansas City and when he was in Philadelphia are huge. So just from that standpoint, how to work, how to communicate with the players, how to continue to grind, how to not only expect things out of players, but give them what they expected, if I word that right. But that's kind of what I learned from him. And then the guy I worked under, Coach Toll, the way he demands the room, the respect that he's given through the players. But at the same time, he knows how to have fun. So I learned a lot from that standpoint, from those two coaches when I worked there, and a ton of other coaches on that staff. That was a great staff.
All right, let's go over to Josh Kendall.
That's all you can.
Hi, Rod. Nice to meet you, even if it's under these odd circumstances.
Hey, Josh.
I understand you've only been here for 3 weeks and you've been distant or you only got 3 weeks of sort of in-person time with your guys, and so a relationship is still not as strong as it will be. But how have you helped them navigate the last week in terms of the George Floyd situation and what their feelings might be about it and how to channel those feelings and what resources you might provide for them?
Well, first of all, I just I let them know that I'm here. I understand what they're dealing with. You know, I mean, it's obvious. I'm African American. I'm a Black guy. I'm also a former athlete. So I understand what they're going through. I understand their feelings. But I just want them to be able to talk it out. And if they're feeling some type of way, they need somebody to talk to, just give me a call. And it's kind of what I communicated to them. And just understand the situation that is going on right now. You know, my heart goes out to George Floyd and his family and all his friends. And what is happening with him is unbelievable. But that's kind of where we are in this country right now. And it's sad to say. But as the player standpoint, I'm just there for them. You know, they have a voice. If they want to speak their voice, I'm behind them.
Have any of them had any conversations with you that particularly stuck with you about this?
None I would like to share.
Thank you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go back to David.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned, Cross. Is there one memory from growing up in Cross or playing for Cross that really sticks with you all these years later? And I guess the same thing for playing at USC?
I have a lot of memories from Cross. Even though Cross is very small, I have a lot of memories from Cross. But I don't think there's one that really jumped out at me. I'll tell you what, there's a recruiting memory that I still have right now. I have a picture of it. And that's when Coach Holtz and those guys came to visit me at my home. That was huge. Being the guy that Coach Holtz was and stuff like that. And the small town that I was raised in and coming out of, and the attention I was getting, that was huge. That was a big memory for me, recruiting-wise. South Carolina, I would just say my first day stepping on campus back in summer of 2000. The guys that I met, the guys that I played with, that were in that locker room with me from 2000 to 2004, a lot of those guys I am still very close with, the Dondre Pinkins, the Dante Robinsons, the Corey Peoples, the Jermaine Harrisons, all those guys I'm very, very close with, and I can continue to name plenty more people. But the first day I stepped on campus is a very fond memory for me.
Let's go back over to Hale.
Sort of sticking on that subject, what was your recruiting process like? How did that go for you? What are some of the memories that you can kind of share with us from that time?
Oh, wow. I didn't receive my first big offer until I stepped foot on South Carolina campus at a camp. And that was I think the summer of '99, maybe. And I think after a day of practice on the field, they offered me a scholarship. And then things just kind of trickled from there. And that's kind of how it is. You know, you're coming from a small school where everybody kind of put their so-called best athlete. You know, I don't think I was the best athlete, but, you know, they put him at quarterback. And that's where I was. And I love quarterback. So the reason I had to come to camp was the simple fact that they wanted to see me throw the ball. And I was able to throw it, and I ended up getting an offer after that. Now, they could have very well been, hey, you know, we're going to get him here, get him moving around, knowing that they were going to end up moving me at some point in the future. But it all worked out. I think all the scholarships started rolling in after that.
So they offered you as a quarterback initially? Is that what it was?
Yes, I was offered as a quarterback when I first came here. Yep. Well, when they first offered me, yes.
Okay.
We're going to go back over to Colin now.
Rod, you kind of talked about recruiting a little bit, but I was just curious, you know, what makes a good, when you're on the recruiting trail, what makes a good linebacker that you scout, and how do those qualities you look for, kind of compared to what Coach Muschamp and that defensive staff wants you to look for too?
Love of the game, just the love of the game. The effort you put into the game. When it comes to a linebacker, you have to be intelligent. There's a lot of stuff going into the system, the calls you have to make, the alignments you have to line in, the adjustments and everything. So you want a guy that can retain all that information and be able to spit it right back out and play at the same time on the field. So you want a guy that's pretty smart, all right? And not just that, when it comes to athletic ability and talent-wise, you want a guy that can run, hit. You want all the perks, if you can get it. But you want a tough guy. Guy's not going to shy away from hits. It's going to be able to come downhill, lay his hat on you, lay his pads on you. You want those kind of guys. But it goes back to what I first said. You want a guy that loves the game. You can find a guy that loves the game, plays with passion, flies around the field. That's the kind of guy you want.
Next question is going to come from Ben.
Hey, Coach, just a quick follow-up on your kind of conversations about the George Floyd situation. I guess in talking to some of the guys, did you feel like it was important to them, and was it important to you to see Coach Muschamp make kind of the public statements that he sort of has, in addition to sort of talking privately about it?
Can you repeat that question one more time, Ben?
Was it important for you guys, and what did you kind of think with Will Muschamp issuing kind of the public statements that he sort of has about the George Floyd situation, and did you see it be kind of important to the players as well?
When you said the statement that Coach Muschamp made, I'm still not following because it's getting a little choppy. So I'm trying to get you.
He's posted a couple tweets about social justice issues, and I guess what did that kind of mean to you and some of the players you've talked to?
Oh, okay, yeah, that's huge. To have somebody that of Coach Muschamp's caliber in the position he's in with the platform he has to be able to stand out there and make a comment about it is huge. It's huge to the players. I thought that he handled it well. And whatever else he does behind closed doors, it's also great, and it's going to be great. Put it that way.
Let's go back over to Josh Kendall now.
Forgive me, I don't understand technology. I didn't realize I was in line again. I don't have any more questions, but I hope everyone is well. I'm going to hit this little lower hand button now. Maybe I'll get out of it.
All right. I see one hand raised from Hale McGranahan.
And I think this will be my last one. If I accidentally raise my hand again, please disregard it. Just thinking back to your career in the NFL, what are some of your favorite memories from that in those playing days, and how do you feel like you can kind of bring some of that to the table? Because obviously a lot of the guys you coach hope to have careers in the league as well.
The locker room, again. I thought that I had one of the best locker rooms in Chicago. We actually liked each other in Chicago. You see people play together, but you don't see them, hang out off the field as often. Their families know each other. Their kids know each other. That locker room was very fun. It was built tight. We did a lot of things together off the field, and I think it correlated to being good on the field. And I'm talking about Chicago alone, and being able to play in 2 NFC championship games and going to the Super Bowl, even though we lost, it was a great experience. So just how to work and go about your business in the NFL, because it is a business. I think one of the first things that I talked about to the guys when I got here was the fact that I kind of liked the fact that we practice in the mornings. It gets you up and it gets you going. Because if you got aspirations to make it to the NFL, the meeting's starting first thing in the morning. I mean, you're in the building roughly from anywhere from 6 something, if you got treatment or whatever, or 7 till about 6 at night, or 5:30 in the evening. So it's a full day's work. And you're grinding. Your first meeting starts at 8 o'clock or 8:15. So I really like the fact that we get up and we get the guys going in the morning, because even after football, life after football, it kind of gets you prepared, for going out there and getting a job and working.
All right, looks like we have a question coming from Phil Kornblut. Go ahead, Phil. Make sure you're unmuted, Phil.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
How you doing, Phil?
Hey, Rod. Good to see you again. Thanks for doing this. You being, excuse me, a South Carolina guy, having played for Lou, having played against Clemson and stepping in at a time when the Gamecocks are in that losing streak against Clemson, and Clemson is where they are. What do you recall about playing against the Tigers during your days and now recruiting against them and trying to help the Gamecocks catch up with them in the rivalry? How does it feel to you to be back involved with that?
Oh, I love it. I mean, the feelings I have towards Clemson goes way back to 2000. So, I mean, from a player standpoint now as a coach, well, from a player standpoint, an alum, a fan, and now as a coach, it's the same. I want to beat them in everything we do. And my feelings are probably more intense because I've been on the field in that rivalry. And I know how intense it is. And now I'm on the sideline again as a coach. So I stand the same as I was back in 2000. I want to beat them in everything. I want to beat them on the field, off the field, academically, everything.
All right, our next question is coming from John Del Bianco. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Coach. Nice to meet you. I have questions, if you will. The first one was, do all of your guys plan to be on campus for the start of voluntary workout?
I didn't even hear that question. You're breaking up.
Do all of your guys plan to be on campus for voluntary workouts at the start of June?
As I know, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not known of anybody that's not going to be there.
And a weird pivot, but back to last season with the Chiefs, you coached two former Gamecocks in Rashad Fenton and Chris Lamons. If you could just share some memories that you spent with them there in Kansas City last year, the development you saw, especially from Rashad.
Rashad, I can't wait to see what Rashad does this year. Rashad has a lot of talent. If he keeps going the way he's going, developmental-wise, growing as a player, growing as a student of the game, Rashad's he's gonna be fine. And matter of fact, that's one of the last things I said to him: continue to grind, because the sky's the limit for him. And he's been doing well. It was fun to see him play. You kind of got to get on a little bit in practice, and we had our moments. But when those lights come on and it's time to play, man, Rashad plays. And I'm excited to see what he does later. Chris got there late in the year, ended up on the practice squad. But Chris was he was determined, and he is determined. And he wants to get better. He wants to find a way to stick in this game and in that league. And I believe he will. As long as you keep that determination, you put the best foot forward, you will be fine. So I look forward to seeing what Chris does next year.
Great. Thank you.
Let's go back to Ben Briner.
Hey, Coach, got a couple here. First one is kind of Coach Muschamp said that he was going to sort of work with the linebackers through the spring as well to kind of get you up to speed since you're kind of hired late. What was that sort of crash course at linebacker like with how they do things? And second, how much role do you foresee yourself taking on the special team side with kind of your background there with the Chiefs?
It was fun. Learning under Coach Muschamp was fun. His experience, his expertise that he has at that position and on defense alone, just learning from him has been fun. I would say that I wish we didn't have this pandemic, because just being in the room with him is better than being over Zoom, put it that way. But the whole learning experience under him has been good. The terminology is different from what I'm used to, and that was the adjustment, and that's one of the reasons that me coming in so late with some veteran guys, he might say one thing, I say something different. but we're still coaching the same deal. You see what I'm saying? But the terminology is different. So me just getting caught up on everything has been going good. I look forward to getting back at it next week and just learning ball and talking ball with them. On the special team side of things, Kyle Krantz is the coordinator. I'm going to be a voice for him, help him any way I can. He can lean on me. I've already told him that. But he's the coordinator. I love special teams. So whatever he needs out of me, on the field, off the field, I'm there for him.